The financial world loves to dangle these high-profile political circus acts in front of your face to keep you distracted from the structural reality that your wealth is being systematically hollowed out by inflation and corporate interest. Most people are completely lost in the noise because they have spent their entire lives believing that if they just find the right politician or the right policy, their financial struggles will magically disappear. That assumption is a terminal mistake because it forces you to outsource your agency to people who view you as nothing more than a vote or a line item on a balance sheet. Complexity is a status signal for people who want to feel smart but stay poor, and nowhere is that more obvious than in the current obsession with billionaire personalities. If you are looking to a billionaire for financial salvation, you are not investing, you are merely hoping to be a passenger on a ship that is currently taking on water. I currently manage $150,000 in assets at 27 years old, and my strategy is so aggressively boring that it requires almost zero daily cognitive load. I keep 20% of my total portfolio in liquid cash equivalents, earning a guaranteed yield, and the remaining 80% is automatically funneled into broad market index funds every single month. Without fail, people love to mock this approach because it lacks the excitement of day trading or the perceived intellectual satisfaction of following complex political news cycles. But building long-term wealth is not a spectator sport. It is a game of boring, repetitive, and unsexy discipline that survives, even when the headlines are filled with chaos. When politicians talk about taxing corporations or breaking up monopolies, they are playing a game of theater that is designed to capture your emotional attention while the actual mechanics of the economy continue to favor those who own productive assets. You cannot tax your way to prosperity if you do not have a foundation of ownership. And you cannot build a foundation if your entire focus is on who is winning or losing the latest televised debate. We are currently living in a period of extreme economic transition where the cost of living in major states like California is decoupling from the actual wages of the average worker. And that is not just a political problem. It is a fundamental reality that you must account for in your own personal budget. If you are living in a high-cost environment, you are effectively paying a premium for proximity to power. And if you are not leveraging your assets to outpace that premium, you are going to fall behind every single year. The smartest thing you can do right now is stop worrying about the billionaire in the mansion or the politician on the stage and start obsessing over your own savings rate. If you can pay your bills, max out your tax, advantaged accounts, and keep your life simple enough that you don't need a government subsidy to survive, you are already light years ahead of the people who are screaming at their televisions. It is honestly hilarious to watch the average consumer get riled up by a billionaire claiming they are going to fix everything, because the history of human economic development shows us that power is never voluntarily surrendered. It is only ever redistributed through structural shifts that favor the patient and the disciplined. You do not need a political agenda to protect your purchasing power. You need to own the companies that pass inflation costs directly to the consumer. You need to own the assets that grow regardless of which party is in office. And you need to keep your personal lifestyle inflation firmly under control while everyone else is busy chasing status markers. When you realize that your financial independence is entirely your own responsibility, you stop being a pawn in their game and start becoming a player who operates outside the noise. The entire political system is designed to keep you reactive, but the market is designed to reward those who are proactive. By automating your investments, you remove the human element that leads to panic selling or emotional buying during market corrections. You treat your wealth, building like a utility bill that must be paid, and you focus your energy on the only thing that actually moves the needle, which is your income and your savings. We are moving into a future where the gap between those who own capital and those who rely on wages is only going to widen. And the biggest mistake you can make is thinking that you can vote yourself into a better financial position without also taking the steps to build your own equity. If you cannot explain your investment thesis to a 12-year-old, you are just gambling. And I see far too many people gambling on political outcomes rather than investing in the reality of compounding. The truth is that the system will continue to function exactly as it is designed to function, which means the wealthy will continue to accumulate assets while the anxious will continue to trade their time for shrinking paychecks. Your job is not to fix the system. It is to survive it by opting out of the insanity and choosing the path of maximum simplicity. Stop letting these billionaires live rent free in your head and start making sure your money is working harder than your labor ever could. The most radical thing you can do in 2026 is be boring, be consistent, and keep your eyes on your own brokerage account while the rest of the world tears itself apart over things they cannot control. That is the secret, that is the truth, and that is the only way you will ever actually be free. Because at the end of the day, your freedom is not determined by who is governor or what policy is in place. It is determined by the cold, hard, and boring math of how much you own versus how much you owe. So keep it simple, keep it passive, and keep your money away from the people who only want to take it. Because the world is expensive, the future is uncertain, and the only person who is going to look out for your long-term success is you. Stay lazy, stay focused, and stay the course while everything else burns. Because that is where the real wealth is built. In the silence of your own disciplined life, far away from the screaming voices of people who are selling you a future they have no intention of delivering. The game is rigged against the reactive, but it is built to reward the patient. So stop playing their game and start playing yours. Let the politicians posture. Let the billionaires argue, and you just keep hitting that buy button on your index funds until you own the world, and then you will realize that none of the noise ever mattered in the first place. True wealth is quiet, it is boring, and it is entirely independent of the political drama that is currently rotting your brain. Turn off the television, stop worrying about the latest political scandal, and go check your savings rate, because that is the only metric that actually counts in the long run. And if you are not hitting your targets, you need to stop talking and start saving, because the clock is ticking. Inflation is eating your savings, and the only person who can stop the bleeding is you ignore the headlines, ignore the drama, and let the magic of compounding do the heavy lifting, because everything else is just background noise designed to keep you poor. That is the brutal reality of 2026, and that is why you should focus on your own backyard, your own budget, and your own path to financial autonomy. While the world chases ghosts, you should be chasing shares. That is the only path that leads to real independence, so stay the course, stay disciplined, and never look back at the noise, because your future self is relying on you to be the one who didn't lose their mind during the great distraction. Just keep the plan simple, keep the costs low, and let the results speak for themselves when the dust settles, because it always settles for the people who stayed focused. And it never ends well for the people who are distracted by the show. Make the smart choice and ignore the circus, because you have a life to build, and it is not going to build itself. Keep stacking your index funds, keep your lifestyle quiet, and let the rest of the world be loud. Because in the end, silence is the sound of a perfectly growing portfolio. And that is exactly where you want to be. Because the loudest people are always the ones who have the least to show for it. So be the quiet winner, be the disciplined investor, and be the one who walks away with everything while the rest of the world is left wondering what happened to their wealth. The choice is yours, the path is clear, and the results are waiting for you at the end of a long, boring, an incredibly successful decade of doing absolutely nothing but staying the course. So get to work, stop the drama, and let the money grow, because that is the only thing that matters. That is the only thing that works, and that is the only thing that will keep you safe when everything else starts to fail. Stay the course and enjoy the silence of your freedom, because that is the greatest wealth of all. The ability to walk away from the chaos and live your own life on your own terms without needing anyone's permission, without needing anyone's help, and without needing to follow anyone's agenda. That is the true, brutal, and beautiful reality of 2026. And if you can understand that, you have already won the game. So close the browser, stop reading the news, and just let your money do the heavy lifting for the rest of your life. That is the lesson, that is the truth, and that is everything you need to know about navigating this world. Keep your head down, keep your money growing, and ignore everything else, because that is the only way to thrive, that is the only way to survive, and that is the only way to win. So get back to your life, get back to your saving, and stop wasting your time on things that don't make you rich, because time is the only asset you can never replace. So stop spending it on billionaires and start spending it on your own future. That is all for today. Just stay disciplined, stay boring, and you will eventually find your own way to total freedom, and it will be the best decision you ever made. I promise you that. So keep going, keep building, and never let the noise distract you from the simple path to wealth, because that is the only path worth taking, and it is the only path that actually works. So stay the course, and I will see you in the next one, where we will continue to break down the reality of this crazy, expensive, and completely manageable world. One index fund at a time. Just stay the course, and stay the course, and keep on staying the course, because it is the only thing that matters, and it is the only thing that will ever truly matter. So go live your life, keep your money working, and ignore the circus, because the circus is just a waste of time, and you have much better things to do than to watch it burn. So go out there and build your own fortress, and don't look back, because the future belongs to those who have the discipline to ignore the noise. And that is exactly who you are. So be it and thrive, because the world is waiting for you to succeed, and all it takes is a little bit of boring, consistent, and relentless focus. So do it and thrive and grow, because you deserve the freedom, and you can achieve it if you just stop playing their game and start playing your own. And that is the final truth. So stay the course. Keep it simple and let the math do the work, because that is the only reality that exists, and it is the only reality you need. So go get it and win, because the prize is waiting for you at the end of the long road, and it is more beautiful than you can imagine. So stay the course, and stay the course, because it is the path to everything you have ever wanted, and it is right there in front of you, just waiting for you to take it. So go ahead, take it, and never look back, because your future self is already there, and they are so glad you did. Stay the course, and just keep winning, because that is what we do. We win by being patient, we win by being disciplined, and we win by ignoring the noise. So stay the course, and I will see you next time, because there is always more to learn about the boring, simple. An incredibly effective path to wealth. Just stay the course, keep it quiet, and let the money do the talking, because the money never lies and the money never stops. So let it work for you and enjoy the ride, because it is a long one and it is the best ride in town. So stay the course, and stay the course, because it is the only way and it is the way to the top. So let S go, let S build, and let S win together. $1 at a time, because that is how it works, and that is how it will always work. So trust the process, trust the math, and trust yourself, because you are the only one who matters, and you are the only one who can make it happen. So get to it, and get to it, because the journey is just beginning, and it is a beautiful journey. So stay the course, and keep winning, because that is what we are here to do. Win, win, and win. Again, and again, and again, until we are free. So stay the course, and keep the focus, because the focus is the key, and the key is the path. So stay the course, and win, because you are a winner, and you are going to make it, and you are going to thrive, and you are going to love it. So just stay the course. Stay the course and never stop, because the race is not for the fast, it is for the consistent. So stay the course, and be consistent, because that is how you win, that is how you win, and that is how you win until the end of time. So stay the course, and win.